All right. 1 second. Hi, everybody. It's Jacqueline with Intuition Power, Cosmic Light Academy, and my co-host. My co-host. Who are you? Stuart Elliott from
I,
Guilin,
I think I
China.
am. I think I'm Stuart Elliott.
And we want to enjoy, we want to have a good time having this conversation. Uh and welcome to listening and participating, and give us your comments below. We'll read them later. Anyway, tonight we wanted to have a conversation on overcoming division and stress fast. So is it possible to overcome stress fast and to overcome division? What are we talking about here?
Well, I think anything's possible if we have the will. That's one thing to do so. And, division is the separation because of different beliefs, I would suggest. And that happens
Right.
a lot in the religious field. It happened back in the late 70s in the UK with the miners' strike. They had 11 months of coal miners striking, and the families were ripped apart because of it. Some would
Yeah.
believe in this and some believe in that, and they it destroyed the families for basically forever. And you've got the
You
similar thing in so many different areas. People just don't agree and they can't talk to each other. I
yeah, we
hate you.
had we have a lot of movies. West Side Story was a movie from the late 1960s of two warring teenage groups.
Mhm.
They have the Western movies of the McCoys and the whoever, and the family feuds back and forth. And so there's a lot of divisiveness, division, and or religion. My religion's my God's better than your God, or and so it's challenging at best sometimes, especially within families when you have no, there's a lot of division, especially here in the United States, even after this last election. That's still a lot of controversy, like my side is right, no, my side is right, and I have to sneeze. Excuse me, sneeze on this truth.
Yeah.
um,
It also plays out in gangs, different gangs. You have one gang believes this and one gang believes that, and there's no way that there's the humanity of people is recognized. When I grew up in the UK, they had skinheads and rockers. Rockers had the long hair, they were the bikers, skinheads were obviously no hair. And they were at each other's throats and, physically violent towards each other. Why? Because they
right,
had a belief. And these
right.
people are people, they're inferior.
Right. And so it's very stressful, not only the people within each group,
But the community,
because of them, and when you do the them, you point
yeah.
one finger at somebody else, you're pointing three back at yourself.
But, we, us, are good. They are bad. And that's the problem, isn't it? We just make it that black and white without realizing it.
Right,
We don't
right,
we don't see humanity. We don't see any good in that other side.
right.
And it's been
And it's
propagated.
stressful.
Yeah, it's been propagated as a means to conquer. I mean, think of all the countries that different countries have taken over because of that. They've used it as a tool.
Yeah, so let's go back and forth for a couple different ways. Like you'll say one, I'll say one, you'll say if we can. Well, we haven't practiced this ahead of time. So but what would be one way of managing stress?
One way of managing stress is, I would suggest, is first to recognize that you have stress, because a lot of
Well,
the
that's
stress
a
comes out without us realizing we're stressed.
yeah, and there's different categories of stress: physical stress,
Yeah,
lack of exercise, too much movement, and when or food, bad water, not enough food, not enough water, finding a balance.
yeah. And
Um, uh,
if you think about it, just work can make you stressed because you're focused on one goal and you abandon everything else. And again, it's that balance we haven't thought about even the necessity to have a balance.
Not enough sleep is a good one.
Yeah.
Causes stress.
Mhm. I mean, you could go on forever and you'd never get to the end of all these little things.
Okay,
But
your turn. Come
what,
up with another stress thing.
what is the key thing I would suggest in stress? It's the thinking. You know, the thinking I
Yeah.
have to do. I'm successful because of this, but we're not looking at everything else. But we're not looking at a bigger picture. We're not stepping outside of ourselves. And as we were talking about division a bit before, we're not recognizing other people's humanity. I think that's a big thing as well.
Right. Oh, when you said that, I was thinking of the stress of people within the same family or even married couples that are
I hate my
divided
brother.
because of,
Yeah, I hate my brother because of this, you know, or hate my sister or whatever
or
because
my
of
wife or my husband that they're on that, like in the United States, you're on that side. No, you're on that side of the politics. And there's just like,
yeah.
and
And
you
this
know,
plays out a lot at the big holidays, you know, this Thanksgiving, the Christmases, because families traditionally get together, but they spent the whole year separated. And then when you have these celebrations and alcohol flows, you have a massive problem. I mean, in
you're
the UK,
always that way. Why are you doing that? It's like,
yeah,
well,
but in the UK, they've got a lot of increase in casualties in the hospitals because of this. Because
what, why?
because of
They
the
beat each
violence
other
actually
up.
starts. Yeah, this starts to happen because they've had too much to drink and they shouldn't be together, you know, because they've not resolved their mindset. But they get together and then it starts to get in fisticuffs. It's a real problem, just as the full moon is a real problem for for hospitals.
The full moon, yes, I've actually talked to police people, police men and women, and fire department. I've asked fire department chiefs and different firemen, is it true to you? Oh yes, absolutely. They prepare a couple days ahead and a couple days after
No
full
leave,
moons. And
no
yeah,
leave.
the crazies come out.
Yeah,
People
it's real.
get stressed out.
Yeah,
And so how do you, so solutions, we'll go back
that's
and forth.
again, it's that willingness to recognize that there is that challenge. And once you've got that, then you can have a conversation. I mean, if you don't like your sister, what is it about her that triggers you? Or, stepping outside and then saying, okay, but is that triggering you or are you triggering
Yeah,
yourself?
that's the three fingers
Yeah,
back
I
at
think,
yourself to look at, see, and yeah,
if there's someone who's got a different belief to you, whatever that belief is, what is the good in that belief that you can actually borrow from them and then
mm,
start recognizing that they have a value,
right,
that they're useless or whatever you want to call it.
right. So we have more than what, more than 7 billion people on the planet right now,
I believe so, yeah.
something like that.
I've never counted them.
Well, neither have I, but I've heard.
Yeah.
Um, who knows if that's true? Um, um,
But
the
that raises another question.
yeah.
The stress of food production.
Oh
What are
my
we doing
God.
to the planet with all the modern farming? The ancient peoples, they had the wisdom to let one field be fallow and things like that. Now we've got past that and we're putting artificial chemicals onto it to grow the crops and causing a lot of stress in the animal production industry.
Yeah, it's
And
causing a
we're
lot of
eating
stress in the
stressed
health
food.
industry too.
Yeah, but we're eating that stressed food. We're taking that negative energy that's in the food and eating it.
Yeah, it's
So
stressful.
there's a lot of
There,
things we
there,
can start
there have
becoming
been
aware of.
research projects showing that when people cook with love, beautiful music,
Mhm.
happy music, it doesn't have to be like a meditation. It could be just fun dance stuff.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
but they're present, they're enjoying, they're putting love and or joy or both into the food.
Mhm.
And there have been research with not only food, but with liquids like water. They measure the molecular structure of the water. And
Mhm.
just speaking or writing on, I mean, this sounds weird, but just writing on the glass or a piece of paper that you put on the glass, like Scotch tape or something, love, calm, healthy, happy, as opposed to other words like hate or
Mhm.
negative, angry things, words like that. Just putting the words on the water actually, there's who's that guy that wrote the book on the water research, Moto something,
I can't remember the name offhand.
anyway, there's several research studies, and the actual molecular structure of the water changes. And
Yep.
when you say a prayer into the water right before you drink it, it changes the molecular structure. And if you're going to drink water, our body is what, somewhere around 70 plus percentage water. So
Mhm.
if you're drinking garbage water, guess what? It doesn't necessarily carry the same amount of oxygen and nutrients that the what they call it wetter water. It's like, instead of a molecule like this, it would be like this, and it has all these extra spaces, and it carries like more water, more oxygen, more whatever it carries, substance with it,
Yeah.
that's healthier for your body to take in the wetter water than it is to take in the clunky water. And
Mhm.
you can do so many things even with water. Okay, what's another? So decharge relationships, emotions. How do you do that? I use meditation, I use sound and frequency, I use education to people in my classes, in my programs. And
Yeah, I
what are
mean, there's
some
so many
things that you
ways,
do?
but it's the energy, isn't it, that we're changing in that person and how we do it. I mean, if you use music, for instance, and that's obviously sound, you can either energize somebody, aggravate somebody, or relax them, depending on the type of music and their taste for that particular music. I mean, there's this is well known that if you play Mozart, for instance, it helps houseplants grow and become healthy. And there's a lot of research done that Mozart helps children to learn better if it's played as background music.
Right. And
So
one of
it
these
is that.
days, we're going to have farmers that project that kind of music over their crops,
Yeah.
and the crops will grow better. There's some people that do that, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got an indoor garden, it's much easier, obviously, than outside.
Yeah. Big speakers.
Yeah, but you don't have to have it loud. That's the whole thing. It's that um, ambient energy from the music, which is important. And,
Right.
it is about an energy change. And one of the ways, obviously, is using hypnosis. And that can help you have a big change in energy because you're holding on to things.
Yeah.
And if you,
So how do you work with hypnosis with people to help them with stress?
well, again, it's getting them to recognize, and I've got stress here because I've got two teeth sticking in my finger. My
You'll have
little
to
dog.
explain that for the new
Yeah,
watchers,
I've got a little
viewers.
puppy who's decided to wake up just as we got on the call. He's chewing the heck out of my hand. So if I keep moving, that's why.
Oh,
I,
ow, ow, ow.
yeah, I'm not going to resist and have a hole.
Okay. So,
But it
um,
is it is about changing that energy and getting people to, number one is get out of that negativity, let that go, and then start recognizing really what's happening within themselves. And that the other thing is a message, but you don't have to get aggravated by the message.
right, right. And if you are aggravated by the message, here's the thing. If you're aggravated by a message or react to something, um, there are martial artists that said, just don't block it. Um, don't block it. Be aware enough to grab it as it comes to you,
Mm-hmm.
step out of the way, grab it and push it along
Yeah.
so it goes into the wall and it hurts itself.
Yeah.
So you step aside and you don't react. You are masterful enough to duck it or duck it, duck it to
Mm-hmm.
avoid it. And or if it comes to you, it just who was it that there was martial artist specialist who said, be like water. He
That
said,
was Bruce Lee.
what?
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yes, without the accent. Bruce
Mhm.
Lee.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee said, my abdomen, my whole body is like a water bag. You
Hmm.
punch into a water bag, you can't hurt me. It just moves back into place. And he says, punch away because I'm a water bag and you can't hurt me.
Hmm.
I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And
And I think one of the big things that I think people misunderstand is acceptance. If something's happening,
yeah,
accept it's happening, but without judgment. And that's where a lot of people get derailed, is that they're judging. See, they accept it's happening,
yeah.
but then they're judging.
Part of it is the let go. I just got an email from a kind of friend. I was doing some trade work and they were doing my all my tech support and stuff, and something happened. They were working with me on a live project. It was pretty complex and it didn't turn out the greatest with the technology. There were a whole bunch of glitches and stuff, and then I got 2 days later, I got a notice discontinuing service. And I opened it up. It was a horrible experience. I'm not going to do it anymore. And blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wait, what? And so I wrote her back a note and I said, did you just drop me as a client without any notice? And I was like, for because I was thinking long term and I gave her a lot of work that really helped her a lot. Um, um, that I was doing some energy work with her and she was able to take her meds that she's been on for like 25 years and cut them in half. So it was pretty so anyway, I was like and that lasted for 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. I was really upset. And because of I thought we were talking for like 4 months about long-term working together and developing some stuff, and I was counting on her. And then I stopped because I was realizing I was upset. And I just thought, you know what? When one door closes, another one always opens. And it's true. The experience for the program didn't go well. And then another friend asked me, has she ever done that before? And I said, no. He said, you're used to being around Hollywood. All these people have done that many, many times, and it's easy. It's only easy if you've done it a lot of times. It was their first time of doing all this tech stuff. And you might have had expectations. And I thought, you're right. And she doesn't want to do it. And so I need to just, one door closes, another. She did me a favor because she told me her truth that it's not what she wants to do. And instead of being angry and instead of trying to open the door and like, why are you can do this and stuff, and coming from a place of lack, remembering, wow, there's like 7 billion people on the planet, and all I need to do is open up my heart and my mind to, I'm accepting the next new person that's absolutely going to embrace and love and be excited about this. And God bless her, and she knows where she needs to focus, and let her help people on that level. And it's brilliant. And so I was able to overcome the anger and the angst. And then the next morning, I got up and I was a little bit annoyed for just maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, where it was an 8 before when it first happened. It was on a scale of 1 to 10. It was like a 2 or 3 the next morning. I thought about it for a few minutes and I thought, when one door closes, another one opens. She did me a favor. Thank you. And I was done. And I was able to release the angst, the anxiety, the stress, the worry, and just totally trust that similar energy attracts, and believe you can and you will.
Hmm.
And my intuition, and you do this something similar with taking people through conversations and hypnosis to help people to mirror back to them or to themselves
Hmm.
their empowerment, and to let go of what isn't working in a productive way.
Hmm.
Sometimes if in marriage, it's a matter of negotiating differently or looking at it from a different perspective and healing it and moving
The other
forward.
side's perspective. Yeah, seeing
And
the other
sometimes
person's
it's
perspective.
like time to say bye-bye. Um,
That happens, you know.
yeah,
Relationships are there for a period. Sometimes it's a short period, sometimes it's a long period. And that
right,
doesn't matter what type of relationship. It could be business, it could be friendship, it could be lovers, doesn't matter. But they're
right,
there for that period, and we should be grateful of the growth we've made. And then when you let go, it's
right,
amazing how quickly that void is filled, isn't it?
right, right. Yeah, yeah. And what's normally happens is if the person lets go and they don't do the personal transformation or insight
Mhm.
seeking, then the next situation is the same.
Yeah, because they've got this lesson to learn. Life is very good at
Right?
giving you that lesson
New
until you
names,
listen.
new environment, whatever, and it ends up being exactly the same or the flipping opposite, but they're
Mhm.
still out of balance.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a choo-choo train coming at you. um so if somebody is stressed out, and if you're going through, we try to make light of this, but if you're going through some kind of division or divisive thing, either at work, either in your community, either with, especially within your family, if you're caught in the middle and really having some, don't let the stress get to you, because it will gradually, stress is the killer. It affects our health. Once our health goes, then it's harder to balance our emotions. It's harder to stay in mental clarity. We get brain fog, we get tired. So don't just slough it off and I'll deal with it. Time will heal all. Well, maybe not really.
No, it
And
tends to fester in the background, doesn't it? And then
yeah,
really hit you one day out of the blue. Bonk, that's it.
yeah. So Stuart has a way of working with people, and he offers uh, a couple times per month through his calendar at coachstuart.com, CoachStuart.com, at Stuart Elliott. Um, if you go to coachstuart.com at this moment in time, he's still offering a few free, completely free, not just Q&A, but he usually walks people through processes of healing and getting,
Mhm.
helping you get insights. Because I think you agree with me. I think we believe that the insights are within you to grasp onto.
We have all the resources and everything we need inside. We just got to let them free. The problem is
Yeah.
we've trapped them without realizing it. So we've got to find a way to set them free. And you do that in your unique way, and I do that in my unique way. But it is about recognizing the brilliance that you've got inside and then putting it
Right,
to work.
right, right. So I have some fun things coming up soon. The Intuition Power Masterclass will be coming up soon. We just finished recording Clear Set Get. And if you, at this point in time, we're into starting into the year, we're past the first half of the first quarter. It's
Yeah,
going fast.
it's
So
good fast into March.
if you haven't set goals, if you've already set goals and you've let them fall off already, then Clear Set Get may be the key to doing that. It's about a 3.5 hour recorded program. And the difference between our program of setting goals and others is we have you do some clearing. Clear
Mhm.
the decks before you want to build something new. And most people just start to build something new. And there's emotional stuff, there's mental stuff, um, judgments, fears, angers, hurts, disappointments, expectations that haven't been filled, all kinds of stuff. And if you take a few minutes to systematically go through and clear, which is what we walk people through in this couple hours of, I'm going to call it healing work,
Mhm.
mental, emotional um, clarity, it starts to give you a more solid, even foundation for building further. Your intuition starts to increase, getting you in the right place at the right time. And then I also encourage people to explore working with Stuart, at least having that free conversation if it's available, when it's available. And so my information is available through intuitionpower.com, and which is also cosmiclightacademy.org. And again, that's coachstuart.com. And his hours are a little bit different than mine. I'm in Pacific time zone, USA. He's in, I don't know what time zone you talk about.
Perth, Hong Kong, Perth,
Hong Kong, Perth, because he's in Guilin, China, with
Yep.
the picture, the mountains in the background is his backyard or front yard or something.
Yeah, it's a very picturesque area of the world. So
Yeah,
I'm lucky.
it's great. It's beautiful. Any parting shot words?
No, I mean, we're looking forward to hearing what you say. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comments and we'll answer them for you.
Yeah, you're working on a book, right? It's coming out soon.
Yeah, it's about loving yourself.
I love that.
Yeah, because that's the first person we love. And I can't remember who it was, but there's a quote that's, there's quite a few quotes about self-love. But, the fact is, if you don't love yourself, how can anybody else love you?
That's the kind of like, this is what I love about Stuart. He kind of bottom line stuff in a very in your face, but not in your face kind of way.
gentle.
It's beautiful. So I will see you next week, hopefully, same time, same station, and have a good one. I look forward to hearing your update next week. And if you're watching still, please press that share button and press the like button, leave some comments, and we'll get back to you. Okay, everybody, stay healthy, stay well.